Yes, I am here on planet Earth on my real house watching my real TV while I drink my real water. Oh, I didn't see you there. I greet you from somewhere else in the spinning rock. I'm Jason Tayson Mason Graysonson and I bring you some concentrated fun, right to your tympanic membrane. Enjoy.
3, 2, 1. So, the Bermuda Triangle, Romulus.
Oh, man.
That was good. Keith.
How the tables have turned. What do you know? I'm outside the computers and right here in the front of the table with Cole Humphreys. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, sitting here with the man, the legend, Axel.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, stop it, man.
That's all right. That's all right.
I really was impressed by Keith's ability to throw me off there when he started talking about the Romulus.
I thought when he started improvising, I thought you were going to follow him through with the whole jam.
And I would love to if I knew that was coming, right? And it just it threw me off.
Yeah, that's part of the improv, man. Just kicking off with something, and you gotta follow with it.
You're Elvis, and you have a backache. Go.
Oh, my back hurts. Thank you. Why is my back? Thank you.
I've got a pain in my
back. Thank you.
That's not bad, man.
Yeah.
There's a place in Fort Worth called 4-Day Weekend. Have you heard of it?
I have not. I am below 18, so
right. Okay.
I've not gone to many places.
It's not an age thing.
Oh.
4-Day Weekend is it's an improv show.
Oh, really?
They'll go like Friday night, 3 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday, like every weekend.
Gotcha.
Of course, it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I should definitely check that out. And I didn't mean the 18 plus thing to be a thing not only of age but of experience, because I don't really travel a lot. I'm more of a stay-at-home guy myself. Video games and listening to music, all that stuff, just resting
and jamming. Dude, I saw your videos on that deal. That was good stuff, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
well done.
Still, I gotta get better, honestly. When I'm looking at myself, when I try to record myself for social media, I end up finding a ton of mistakes on my own playing. It's this weird tick that I have of just finding things wrong on my stuff.
I think that if I was that good, I would just keep playing because you have so much to play. But I am better than I was, and I'm not doing that. So maybe I understand. But I'm also like, dude, if you're that good, you can keep playing song. I mean, you were not just I mean, there was multiple things going on when you were playing. You weren't just playing 2 chords back to back.
Right. For me, part of it is just I have find practice a little bit tedious.
Sure.
So I get to learn slightly difficult songs that I can, follow through with, and that can be kind of a good exercise when I'm trying something like that, like, for example, this All Along the Watchtower, like, how it starts, all that stuff. You kind of like got to learn the licks
serious,
and
man.
the scales and all that stuff, just to follow through with Hendrix himself.
Dave Matthews did that once, which made me think of one of his albums live at Radio City Music Hall. Maybe it was just him and Tim Reynolds, but he starts playing a little lick, or I don't know what even a lick means, but just like a little riff, but in between songs. Boom, 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 and whatever it was, right? And you're sitting there, and it's progressing as you're listening to it. Let's say less than 60 seconds, right? And then he goes, and he kind of hits this like high point, and he's like, "I just think that's pretty," and then the whole crowd's like, "Yeah,
definitely."
And it wasn't a song. It wasn't like anything that had to do with what his concert. He was just playing around with his guitar, and like maybe he'd worked on it for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of activities to do inside the house, video games. I heard that you're a very avid Nintendo Switch player.
Well, yes and no. Right now I'm playing the PlayStation 4, Call of Duty, and I really can't get enough of it. I think because it's interaction. I mean, you're playing, and there's not a lot of downtime. For the first time ever, like somebody knocked at my door, my phone rang, and you can't pause on those things. You're live playing the game. Used to forever, it was pause. You could do anytime you're doing something.
You're hearing it right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. The first adult that understands us. How nice.
So I'll take a step back. So about 2 or 3 years ago, I'm sitting at an apartment for like a year and a half. I've always been in a home, but I was at an apartment for like a year and a half.
Right.
And my neighbor became very good friends of mine. His friend was over their house, and he was playing the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing Mario.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me see it. And I was like messing with it, and I was like, man, this is fun. Yeah. And it was like the old looked like the old Mario, but it was 3D and interactive, and it was just a whole nother game. And I had not experienced that since way back when.
Really? So in terms of video games, did you have always an interest in video games, or did it research once you checked the Switch out? I
mean, we got a Nintendo when I was like 8,
right?
Probably younger. And so ever since then, when we it's Nintendo, then it was Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. That was probably the end of it, I think, because that was like senior year. James Bond 007.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, we would go over to my friend's house, and it was 4 players, and all 4 of us would play. It was just so much fun. I think after that, I did have an Xbox for a little bit. I don't remember the time frames, but it probably went 8-9 years with nothing.
Right.
I was, just you're either grown up or you got tired of it, whatever it was. And I saw this
the Switch.
Mario playing Switch. So I bought a Switch, and I played the crap out of Mario.
Right.
This keeps going. Well, Zelda's on the Switch. And I remember Zelda from way back when.
Yeah.
And I pick up Zelda, and on that world that they created for Zelda is so humongous. But I mean, the hours I put in on that, I'm embarrassed. I don't know what it is, but if you go look at my I remember I saw it once, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, you definitely get addicted to that. One of the biggest games, like Skyrim.
Okay.
Also open world. No, a lot of friends of mine invested a lot of time on that game. And then when they found out that Zelda, one of their childhood games, it's coming back and also is like way bigger than the Skyrim map, they started to panic because they were like waiting for it to come out. They were so excited, but they're also kind of scared that they would, like lose track of their homework and their class time, with their friends and all that stuff. They'd end up getting like closed in.
Well, yeah, and there's an options at one point. Do you go out with your friends, dinner, drinks, whatever? You may spend $100 pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
Plus, it's kind of dangerous, especially if you're drinking and driving. And so, it kind of got to a point where it's like I could sit at home, and play video games for a couple hours.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything. I don't want to be antisocial, but man, I was like, well, I can do this.
Yeah, it's happened to me too a lot. Mostly in my younger days when I used to have an Xbox 360. Minecraft was the thing back then, and it still is, but it was a little bit larger beforehand. And when I had that game, there was the option, of course, of going out and playing ball with your friends, or staying at home and playing with the console. I prefer staying at home rather than talking to people. It's some nervous thing that I have inside me that I just don't like. And, getting to do activities with friends sounded less attractive than staying at home, sitting down, relaxing. And, I got to see my family more. It was not that I necessarily paid attention to them because of the game, but, they were there more than, staying out and getting to the well-known teenage drama that still roams around these days because that's how younger people are.
Well, then, and I don't know how much you've learned from it, but then nothing makes sense. I mean, looking back, it's so obvious, but you just trying to find your own identity. There's just simple roles. Los roles cambian or something like that. The roles change. I mean, soon you'll be taking care of them potentially, but yeah, man, especially at that age when, 14, 15 comes around, probably even 13. There's this level where it's like mom and dad are gods. And then it's like, you kind of, I guess you realize they're just humans. And then you're like, well, I'm different from them.
Yeah.
And not that you don't love them, or maybe you think you don't, or whatever you're experiencing. But I think you realize you're different from them. So you certainly got to find your own. Then if you have siblings, that's a whole nother, multiplier.
Yeah, definitely.
And feelings. I was a middle child. And so my brother, was and is just a stud. I mean, and I love him to death.
Right.
Military, straight A's, engineering. He's a doctorate, lieutenant colonel, A&M, top in his class. And my sister is the baby girl.
Right.
And so I'm not trying to paint a story or tell you a sad story here. I just was the middle child. And those are realities. If nothing else, that's what I see as the middle child. And so the third person usually gets, they say, three's good friendship, four's a crowd, or I don't even know.
Right.
Two's friends, three's a crowd. I forget, but
I was fortunate enough to be the only child, so I was consented by my grandparents a lot.
Oh, good.
I would be the one to get the gift at Christmas.
Good, yeah.
And it was the good one because it was the only one.
Yeah,
so
you don't have to worry about
it was nice.
Buying 10 gifts.
Yeah, so I'm curious. How was the life with your siblings when you were younger? Like, how was it overall?
With my brother was, I just looked up to him more or less. I never like looked up to him in the sense that it was just, that's what I'm going. Right. That's where I'm headed. I never thought, man, this guy's a god or anything like that. It was just, I don't know. So, but my sister, man, and I was a jerk. I picked on her. I bullied her.
Right.
And it was never like evil intended. It was just, she was smaller than me. I don't know. And our playing turned into more bullying. Some of it was a replica of what my dad would do, and not in a abusive manner, bullying manner.
Right, something more of a joking.
Dad would play with us. He'd grab our arms, hold us down, and tickle us. And it was just like torture, right?
Right.
Or he'd like kind of mess with us.
Of course.
It wasn't, in no way, shape, or form did I feel like it was like an inappropriate type deal. Yeah. So I would do that to my sister, and I guess I would be a little bit more mean about it. Right. And I never thought, thinking back, I used to think, man, I was probably pretty much a jerk to her. Then I didn't think twice of it. Today, I got nothing but love, and she's my, I am her, she is me. I love her with all my heart and soul. That with anybody, with siblings, having things like that. My sister lives in Grayford, Texas, which is about 2 hours away. My brother's out of town. My parents moved to Weatherford, so technically here in Grand Prairie, it's just me. I got some grandparents here. So It's interesting. I've got, and almost most of the things I do, I've got a little bit of all the situations, whereas some people says, well, yeah, all my family's right here in Grand Prairie, or none of my family's right here in Grand Prairie. I've got a little bit of both.
Right.
I grew up poor, or I grew up rich. Well, we were quite poor growing up, but about 16, 17, my dad started making a lot of money. So by 18, 19, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
So I have the growing up poor, but the adult, I'm not rich by any means, but at least money. So a lot of things I do, I'm well versed like that. So, trying to fit myself in one category sometimes is kind of tough.
Do you think you got closer to your siblings' personalities, or your dad's personalities, in terms of, being influenced by it? How was that for you?
I've noticed over the years, I'm just like my dad.
Right.
Like personality, obviously simple times make you different. Like the time and place of where you were. His story is a lot different as a younger child. He lost his parents at a young age. And so, yeah, there's clear differences, but simple personalities, it's quite amazing. My mom points it out all the time, how I'm just like him. My brother was been in the Air Force. He was always older than me, always doing things. Then he went to the Air Force, and then he was in college and Air Force. So he's never been around, so it's hard to really know. And then my sister moved to Grayford, so it's hard to say I'm more like them or less like them. We've got a strong gene, I think, for his side of the family's real. I'm gonna say almost like the make it, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And then my mom's side of the family was a little bit more. Granddad was 6'4", half Indian.
Wow.
Interim chief of police.
Whoa.
Stud, and that's my grandfather, right?
Right.
So you've got this kind of like poor white trash Humphrey side, and that's not towards my Humphrey's family. I mean, just us in general. And then you've got the like 6'5" police chief, rules guy,
Yeah.
All that said, it's all different, and it's hard to fit into a category, but it also makes you a very diverse person. And picking that out is important to recognize, right? In the sense that if I just said, "Oh, I don't know who I am," so this side's this is
right.
these people, but recognizing that and making it who you are, I think, is an attribute,
of course,
to recognize.
Yeah. And staying on the topic of that of family, walking around your house, of course, you're gonna find and do from A to Z, of course. So, did you ever notice anything out of the ordinary or weird? Not talking about like parent relationships, more paranormal. Did you ever encounter a ghost or have any ghost stories among your family? Any legends that you might know about?
The easy answer is no. I don't want to be that blunt though, but I've always so let's go to my dad has a deer lease.
Mm-hmm.
I was part of it for a few years, but he's been part of this deer lease for 32 years. It's 2,500 acres in the middle of Texas Hill Country. Beautiful. It's a lease, he didn't own it. He's able to use the land and has forever. He used to have a lot of fun with us talking about, the Indians are still down here. The Indians, they're all around here in this area. That's right. When we're little kids.
Yeah.
And so he would have us believe in 100% that anytime there was a sound or anytime anything went on when we were down there, it was the Indians, right?
Yeah, something strange.
There's no Indians anywhere.
Right.
And as you get older, you realize the place isn't as secluded as you thought. It is secluded to anyone, especially who hasn't traveled down there. So I've always had this idea of like the original Indians living around and being around somewhere. And the reality of it is, right here where we're at right now in this place was a prairie, and right. They very well may have been here and hanging out. They very well may have died right here. But I've never, ghosts just haven't, obviously just simply thinking about it and letting that go through your mind, but I've never believed in like ghost as a thing or a belief. I'm not against it, but I'm just not going to let it. Part of it's a fear thing. Right. I'm very fearless, and I don't mean that in a boastful way. I've not allowed myself to be controlled by, fear's a liar, man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The definition of fear is just, it's not true.
Yeah.
I think the definition of fear is inciting anxiety based on something bad may happen or something.
Something like the unknown, or like expecting something.
Yeah.
to attack.
Right. So fear in itself is a liar.
Right.
And so, except for like literal vertigo type thing, when I've been in like really high places.
Yeah, the phobias.
Yeah, the phobias. That
Yeah, when
your
it gets
body,
to that, it's more
Yeah.
more serious and
it's physical, not
yeah,
emotional.
you know, it's strange because you would think that you like going around your life and doing the routine, you would sometimes think that you don't have any. Like again, the fearless thing is completely separate, but the phobias. I remember a time on my my school life where it would be this one kid that was just like walking around with a picture on their phone, like look at this picture, and everyone would just like start like squeaking and getting grossed out and like shrinking and stuff. And so, out of my curiosity, I just approached them like, what are you showing these guys? And so he shows me this picture, and it's just a guy with a huge like bulge in his neck, and it's got like a bunch of holes in it and like a bunch of worms coming out and stuff. And so he's like, like what's like? Take a look at this, man. And so I look at it and I get grossed out, of course, and I get the same reaction as everyone else. And I'm like, why are you showing this to us? Like, why is it like getting the same reaction on everyone? And so he tells me like it's trypophobia. You never heard of it?
Trypophobia.
I think.
Trypophobia.
So the fear of shapes inside other shapes in a pattern. I'm like, no, that's impossible, because like my room is like wallpapered with like honeycombed, like hexagon. Like, what's the explanation behind that? And I found out later in my life that it wasn't that. It was more like having worms inside your skin and wicked, animals being trapped in there. That was the pattern that was scaring me, not the shapes. It was more the thinking there was something inside.
Oh, so like the video of like somebody pulling a worm out of your skin.
That's the thing that grosses me out completely. I hate it. I definitely hate it. Just the thought of it is grossing me out, because I used to watch this series called Parasites on Discovery Channel. Yeah. And they would tell the story of like how they get in, and after watching so many episodes, you just get freaked out with everything, because like there's from A to C with storytelling, like someone was just like walking in the middle of the street, and like a day after they got like a huge worm in their knee. Like, what? How did that happen? Oh, well, there was like an infestation a few days ago, and like one gets to the river and one gets to like the shop, and it gets they give you any kind of situation just to get you scared, just to get you pinned to watch the show.
Yeah, they have that as clickbait.
Yeah, I would say a little bit of clickbait.
Like, click here, look at this.
It's
and
more
you click on it and you got a virus or something.
I would say it's more kind of like a strategic way of getting you, pinned down. Of course, clickbait again, but it's truth funny to it.
If somebody ever calls you a parasite, that makes you like see how bad that is, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's a pretty serious name calling there,
Yeah, it's mean. Like, it gets in your skin again, like the parasite. But yeah,
calling someone a parasite gets under your skin.
I'm gonna put a drum roll in that.
Nice.
Future me.
Future.
That's the
future you get that gun.
That's right. Yeah, I wanted to go back to spirits, because my family and I do believe a lot in ghosts.
Are you familiar with
Welcome to the Twilight Zone?
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You're about to enter a dimension.
La Llorona. What about La Llorona?
That's one, but that's one of the ones that I really don't have any familiar or close connections to. Yeah. However, I have been,
For those listening and don't know, La Llorona is like the crier, the crying.
Yeah, the crying woman, basically.
The crying woman, yeah.
It's kind of like an urban Mexican legend where there's just this woman that either killed her two children or drowned them, or like somebody stole them. Wow. And now the ghost of her, or her soul, is roaming around the cities of Mexico looking for it in the middle of the night. So sometimes you can hear like her screaming for her children, like, "Ay, mis hijos!" And you can hear it.
Nope,
like,
I'm done.
Reverberating around the town. It's because that's her ghost looking for her children, and
So I want to stay with that a little bit. Right.
Right.
This is so cool. I love this quick story. I'm super involved here in my city, Grand Prairie. I love it to death. This side of town, especially, is look. I'm going to put an easy number, no exaggeration, 80 to 90% Hispanic. Okay,
Right.
I'm a promoter of downtown. Try to get ways to bring people downtown to make it. There's a book called Tactical Urbanism that talks about using open space in downtown as just for people. It's healthy, like mentally healthy to like get together and do stuff. But we're all pinned up in these like small areas, and every piece of land is used. So bringing people downtown, doing things, farmers market, the different restaurants, it's a big deal. So we've had a beer crawl where it's just like, craft beers at like 5 different restaurants, right? We had a couple of 100 people show up for that. A couple of similar events, okay? Well, one of the events we had this past year that we tested out was Dia de los Muertos. And, we had no idea how it was going to turn out. We just wanted to, we knew Hispanics, which are common in this area, that's common to them.
Yeah.
And so as a white boy, I'm like, cool, let's try it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me, whatever. Well, we had 600-700 people show up.
Wow.
I mean, remember, maybe a couple hundred showed up to the beer crawl thing. Maybe a couple hundred. I think it was more like 100, 150, which is a decent number.
Yeah.
And we had so the idea was we met at Farmers Market and walked down the streets to the theater. And we went into the theater. And this story, I'm telling you, I'm gonna try to finish it up, but there's a lot to it. So one, just simply being there and seeing that many people for an event like Dia de los Muertos, it was so cool. So I'm immediately learning something new about the culture. So we do the more or less procession down to the theater, and we go in there and like Susan Hole,
Right.
her picture's up, AJ Castaneda. So these are like the dead in my most recent lifetime that I didn't even think about, but and other people brought my good friend Vanessa. Her mother Sonia is the current president of the Lions Club. She's lost two children. She had her, and we're friends, so she had her kids' pictures up there. So I'm getting this whole idea of like the pictures on the wall, and the what the painted faces mean. They're skulls.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they're skeletons.
Right.
And I'm getting to the next thing. They played the movie. What's it called with the kid that
Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea what Coco was, but Sonia was like, come and watch Coco. She had her grandkids in there, and she's like, let's watch Coco. So I
Right.
sat down with Sonia and watched Coco. Like, I almost got emotional a couple times.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. Take away learning all that about Spanish culture. I'm like learning about, I guess it's anyway, I mean, I opened my mind.
Yeah.
Take away the Spanish culture part. It's just a good movie. Then I learned so much about Spanish culture, and also about the importance of family. And it was so cool how if people stop remembering you, if you don't put your photo up,
Yeah.
that means people forget you.
Of course.
Which means you can't go over to whatever the over to is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was such a good deal.
Yeah, that's kind of what Dia de los Muertos is about. It's
Right.
mostly paying respect to the dead, remembering them, of course, just to let them be in peace, basically. Just paying respect.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch. I'm going to watch that movie again. I want to watch it next Dia de los Muertos. As a matter of fact, on that note, City of Grand Prairie, I think, is going to do that again. Problem is, I think that number is going to double.
Really?
Yeah, I really believe that. It was kind of put together real fast. People showed up that they'll probably never go do a downtown event.
Of course.
It was such a cultural thing. But and listen, Grand Prairie, we're not biased. We want people, whoever here, we want everybody to be involved. So if it's Dia de los Muertos that gets you involved, we're going to prepare and have a Dia de los Muertos, and we can't walk to the theater in Grand Prairie. It would be too many people.
Yeah.
So we're already thinking of alternative approaches, and if it's promoted the right way, it will be a big deal.
Definitely.
With 80, 90% Hispanic, and that's a culture thing. That's a vast majority of the people that would do something that event, and not Halloween night. Matter of fact, I think it's better than what Halloween's such a corny.
Halloween has degraded as a
big time.
festivity, definitely. No more candy. Everyone's scared of sicknesses and gluten-free candy, and like having the right candy for your child, and having weapons inside the candy.
Yeah.
Like knives inside of the apples, which is like
Knives inside
pretty
the
like
apples.
80s and 90s, but still people are scared about it.
Has that ever happened? Has there like been cases of like knives inside of an apple?
Yes,
I don't believe it.
That's why they're a thing now. That's why they're scared.
I want you to know that I don't believe it at all.
Right.
I don't believe that. How does that happen? How do you put a knife in an apple, then somebody eat it?
Not a knife, but a razor. Like those like Gillette razors, like rectangle shape.
Yeah.
People just like shove those inside the apples and just give them to people. So when they like bite them, they just like cuts everything. Yeah, and there used to be some rumors that even some of them had like diseases on them. Like somebody had like cut their hands and just like stuffed them in with their infected blood, and like this. And when the HIV thing was like rising up again, people were like, "No, like they're putting like people like knives with HIV and stuff in there," which is like, I don't think so. I don't think the HIV thing was true, but the razor thing is definitely true. There have been accidents on that, and if not accidents, I do remember in my old neighborhood in Mexico, a pregnant woman did get assaulted one of the Halloween nights, and so
that's horrible.
Every Halloween after that, we celebrated it a day before.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that, if there was anything planned, there wasn't anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And, like we would close in all the doors so that other neighborhoods kids wouldn't like pass by just in case.
Yeah.
We would have cops like on each end of the area. And, really after that, it just started degrading.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
The past four definitely feel like nothing.
Yeah, I think I'm officially out on Halloween. Now we have a fundraiser luncheon. Little Children First, who was here.
Yeah,
we have a nice luncheon, middle of the day. It's costume oriented, so
nice.
That's the dress up, and it's for Halloween theme, right? So like I'm all about the costume party, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm out on the whole trick or treat and such like that.
And it's not only for the festivity and the party and the candy of it all, but also the getting scared. For some reason, people like to be scared once in a while. That's why they go watch horror movies and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, that's part of why a lot of urban legends are like invented. Just to keep the heart beating at the time.
Hey, before I forget, did you intentionally leave it on green?
Yeah, because it's St. Patty's Day right now. We're recording on St. Patty's.
Oh, well
That's
done,
why I wanted to have it in green.
This guy, Axel, man, he's got it together. I was about to say, put it on the chain, where it changes. But no, that's perfect. I got a shirt. I'm going to change into it for meetings tonight. But so Saturday night, want to explore the prairie. Who's going to be a guest on here? They did a pop-up business promotion.
Nice.
So they found a business and they shared all their information and said, we're going here, and from 6 to 10 we're going to be here having fun, hanging out. And they did, and like a lot of people showed up to this business. It was a embroidery business, and I got a Get Lucky with a big green shamrock on it. They embroidered one for me, and
it'd be fantastic to have a Daft Punk in there too.
Daft? What do you mean by that?
Daft Punk the band?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
because they have this song, Get Lucky, of course.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be...
So they're going to do that. They're going to have business pop-ups, promotion events, and that's why I want to have them on. They're going to be... They're so much like pro Grand Prairie. Anybody who's here doing stuff, they want to promote, which is why they'll do, the podcast.
Right.
I don't know if I've showed you their... but he's like a photographer and a graphic designer, and they'll go to pictures and go places and take pictures, and they're so well done. Especially for anybody who likes Grand Prairie, gets to see those like iconic places. For example, Don Juan's. I mean, they made Don Juan's look like the coolest thing in the world, and it's just this old shack on one side of town, downtown Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
But with the pictures they took, there's a skill there, man.
Definitely. Have there, again, coming back to the urban legend, I kind of wanted to segue into something after that. But do you guys have any urban legends on Grand Prairie? Any police kind of stories that may have popped up once in a while?
What is stuck on my mind
is that they're created to scare children away from misbehaving, basically.
Sure. I learned something, I think, whether it's naturally or I attribute it to taking sales calls. Okay, so I own and operate Austin Insurance. It's an insurance office. 14 and a half years. As a business owner, I have people calling me and trying to sell me stuff, paper, leads, advertising, you name it. And it's probably 3 times a day at least, right? So do the math. 6 days a week, that's 18 times a day. X amount of times 365 days a year, times 14 and a half years. How many sales calls have I taken? And so I can recognize a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Immediately. And so when somebody starts telling me an urban myth, an urban legend, I'm like, you're just making this up.
We have aluminum hats to protect you from the aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Like,
well, and so that's my deal is more than the average Joe.
Yeah.
I pick up on that so fast.
Right. And I would follow you up on that if I didn't have ghost stories of my own.
Oh, really?
And if it wasn't such a normal occurrence in my family.
Really?
Yes. So the first one that I don't remember myself, but my mom does. I was about 4 years old, and we were just walking near an aunt's house, and being the middle of the night, most of the place is dark. So we were walking back into the house from a 7-Eleven. And in one of the corners, we have a little bit of a crossroads. And on the right side, there's a line blocked by three pots with plants on them. And so apparently I pulled my mom and told her, like, hey, can I go play with that guy over there? And so when she turns around, there's nothing there. And like she goes to check and just to make sure that it's shut, not just because the place is dark and she can't see the guy.
Yeah.
And so she calls out for someone. Nobody answers. And so I pull her again, like, hey, can I go play with that guy? Like, he's calling me. And so when I turned around and she did too, just an old football just started rolling back into where we were, and she was like, you know what, let's go. No,
let's go.
We're not doing that. Let's go. And so
I see dead people.
Basically, it's a common thing,
really
known among our family, that children can see more paranormal stuff.
Way.
Yeah, like dogs, like young people, all that stuff. People just know. It's crazy.
It's freaky deaky, man.
Yeah, it's freaky because you would have
anything negative.
You would think that
so far it's all positive, I guess.
Well, partly. You would think that it's because they're bratty kids and they like to make up stuff.
I'm gonna kill you in 5 days. Ah!
Yeah, something like that. But then most of the stories again are pointless. Like, they have no reason to be there or to exist. There's no moral of the story. There's nothing. So why would you make something like that up?
Sure.
And one I have myself is from a visit I had. A friend of mine in Mexico, San Nicolas, that's the place where they used to live. So we were in the second room watching videos. Just scary stuff. This channel called Oxlack Castro. And hold on, let me try that again. Oxlack Castro.
Nice.
So basically, this guy would take care of debunking videos from YouTube that would come out about witches and ghosts and all that stuff. Like, there used to be this one video of an owl that was burned almost to death on a town in Mexico because they thought that it was a witch. And so, yeah, after he got all the information from the video and everything that had come out, he was like, no, it's fake. Like, here's the information. Here's what happened.
You're a witch.
Yeah, nobody actually thought that it was a witch. It was just a very dangerous animal inside the farm. So,
You're a witch.
Yeah, we were looking at that. We were laughing, and so as we were laughing, we were both on a bed. I was behind, like on my back. There was a closet, and on his back, it was just a normal wall. And so as we were cracking up, I heard this third laugh of a little girl, and so I turned around. And then we turn around and look at each other and laugh again, like really nervously. Like, there's something going on here. I think that was your mom, because her mom's room is on the other side.
Yeah.
And so we open the door, and there's this freaking freaky small Mexican like doll with like braids and like green hair, white dress, and it was all like smiling with a triangle face. And we were all really, really scared that time. So we decided not to watch any more scary videos after that day. And we checked the room on the other side to see if her mom was there. His mom, sorry. And there was nobody there.
No mom.
The house was empty. There was no reason for a sound like that to come out of anything that day, that area. But we heard a little laugh of a little girl. We got really scared, and we decided not to watch any scary videos in that house anymore.
Yeah, and you know what? Saying that makes me think. I definitely, the scary movie video definitely incites that in me more. Right?
Yeah.
So I will then think about that, or am more likely to have those thoughts or see something like that.
Yeah. Then again, videos like that also incite skepticism. Like,
Sure.
you remember that old video that had come out from someone going to Michael Jackson's ranch in Neverland, and the video was titled like "The Ghost of Michael Jackson in this house," and you could see him like walking around, and apparently like you could see his hat and all, just like from one end to the other, just walk and then stop in the middle of the hallway, look at the camera, and then stop and keep walking again.
Yeah.
And you can see it very clearly. It's really scary. But then again, once you check that out,
Pull it up, dude.
Oh yeah, I'll do that in a second. But yeah, once you check it out and you look at it and it's like, it's really scary. But then you keep looking at the video and there's a jump scare at the end, and you're like, oh, what do you know? It's fake.
What do you know?
It's one of the videos that people just like to pull up to scare people.
After its 7 millionth view.
Yeah, which there's like plenty of those. Like, that's not the only one that was fabricated just to scare people. There's this one where it's a room of a baby, and so it's like you can see the cradle in the background, you can see a chair on the right, you can see a bunch of toys on the left, and out of nowhere the cradle just starts moving to side to side on its own, and afterwards you get the jump scare. So you just stop believing.
We ought to edit some videos.
Yes.
Get 10 million views.
We gotta scare someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me pull up that Michael Jackson video. I did the thing that I do now, or I used to do once I realized these kinds of videos existed, where it was like, look at the video, and then just from the
is that this whole video? I guess they're still showing you the ghost.
Jesus. I legit just got chills
Isn't that funny?
from remembering that, because I remember just looking at that video, like getting ready to go to the movie theater that day, and of course just jumping from that and just questioning to myself how people could bring themselves to do that to someone else. It was really mean. And
Dirty Diana.
Yeah.
MJ, man, that's some stuff right there, especially if you go back to the Jackson 5.
Yeah, so that's
Just
where.
look over your shoulder, honey.
Did you see that?
Yeah, the shadow.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I keep getting chills from that, legitimately. But yeah, no.
Oh!
I legit got scared the first time I saw that, and I still get a little bit.
Just a small tribute
scared.
to a man who will never stop thrilling us.
Oh, that's just mean. That's disrespectful. Buddy, it's all right. What plans do you have with future already confirmed festivals for Grand Prairie?
Dude,
you did say you did have an idea for
sore subject, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything's shut down.
Right.
So coronavirus. I mean, like,
yeah.
Seriously though, dude, it's like everything. I mean, late April, mid-April, so over a month away.
So has all that been canceled? Like for now?
Oh yeah, Main Street Fest canceled.
Wow.
I mean, not like, oh, we're not sure, probably, but maybe not. No, they just canceled it.
Right.
We have like Memorial Day celebrations at the end of May,
Mhm.
canceled.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, the suggestion from Dallas County right now is like anything that's more than 10 people,
Yeah.
you can't do it.
Yeah, I did see that.
Bars and restaurants in Dallas are shut down. They'll do delivery and to go, I think. I think the idea is not to gather everybody in the room. So hopefully you still go. And so that's my only concern about this whole deal. I mean, I've been safe. I try to take care of myself, but it's like I worry about the economy and folks that are like, people got to work and pay bills, man. I mean, think about it. Someone who's a waitress and she pays rent and takes care of her kid or whatever, and she can't wait tables now.
Right.
She's out of a job.
Yeah.
It's not like you have a whole bunch of money in savings when you do that job. And so that's the only thing that concerns me about this whole thing.
Yeah, the money aspect of it all. It's
economic aspect.
Economic aspect, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. It's
so money. I mean, money. When you say the money aspect, sometimes I'm almost like I don't like directing ideas to money.
right.
But economy, which is kind of the same thing, but how everything pays into each other. So I'm not saying me and my money. I'm saying money
Overall.
supports this supports this, that supports this.
Yeah, it's going to create a chain that's going to take everything down, basically.
I mean, that's drastic, but there's merit to that statement.
Yeah, even if there's not a lot of panic in the people that have read about this whole thing and are not buying toilet paper like crazy for no reason.
I was about to say Charmin's doing well.
Yeah, Charmin's doing fantastic this time. No, but yeah,
I got to say this because I keep wanting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't worth the Charmin, Ultra Charmin he wipes his butt with.
Right.
I heard that before, and it took me a while to get it because I guess I didn't use Charmin, or I never equated it to toilet paper. And I heard that somebody say that one time. I thought
you got thrown off. Like, what was that?
It just sounds funny.
Yeah.
But then actually hearing and making, he ain't worth the Ultra Charmin wipes his butt. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, no, it's strange to see like your fellow teenagers panicking about the whole thing, because
really,
at first we were all kind of celebrating that we would have a little bit of a longer vacation. At least I was, because
that extra week's fun.
Yeah, an extra week is fine. A vacation, having nothing to do.
Dude, you're post high school technically.
Yeah.
Right now.
Almost basically, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that is because, of course, we have.
Yeah, you still have some things you're gonna have to do, right?
Yeah. We do have a lot of assignments that our teachers are gonna, want to give us, but I mean,
like going to school.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
there's
over.
Gonna be. It is for a little bit.
It's indefinitely.
It's indefinitely over. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's
hey,
strange.
Congratulations on graduating.
Yeah, thank you. I saw a lot of graduation posts, like, again, teenagers concerned about graduating, and a lot of others, like planning it, because like some people are like opening Word documents and like getting a lot of people online in the classroom, and making an emoji for each person and like moving the emojis around the paper just to like make a fake virtual graduation. Other people are going to like Minecraft and getting into servers, getting all together, making the graduation there. It's funny.
Well, sim life is kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Might as well do it online.
Yeah, might as well. It's
host a graduation watching. Host. Well, that's gonna be interesting to do that.
It'd be really funny to see that going on. Yeah, but it's people sad about not being able to go to prom. It's people being sad about not going to graduation and getting that diploma, which really doesn't make sense, because you get the diploma anyway. You don't have to go to the event. Which I'm not a ceremonious guy. Yeah,
and I'm not trying to be Mr. Cool when I do that, but like for example, graduation, you sit down 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it is.
Maybe a little bit more.
Probably longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And to walk across stage. One, I don't care to walk across stage. Two, I'm so happy that everybody is here and graduating, but I can do other things.
Yeah, I got other stuff to do. Thank you.
without trying to preach too much, I have something to that. Time.
Yeah.
Time is our most valuable asset. We only have a set amount of time, right?
Yes.
It is, they say death and taxes are the only things you can count on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to die. And so you can make more money, but you can't make more time. And that's why, like, giving somebody some of your time or where you spend your time is some of the best gifts you can give somebody.
Yeah.
Because literally you're giving somebody a portion of your life that you will never get back.
Definitely.
That is from a book that I read, but obviously it stuck with me. And so when I'm thinking about sitting in a graduation ceremony for 4 hours, I do remember chatting with the people to my left and right. So, you know, it's kind of worth it, but that in itself is disrespectful to the person speaking.
Yeah. And to the tradition of, you know, having to go up with your gown and stuff.
I talk about the importance of time as I play Call of Duty for 4 hours straight during our.
Yeah.
So I understand I'm not.
Yeah, and as I play video games as well, and you know, listen to music and you know, sit down and do nothing.
But guess
for
what?
5 hours. Yeah.
That's entertainment.
Yeah.
And
It's a way of relaxing.
It's relaxing. It's fun. And then during Call of Duty, you have other players from across the world, really, that you play with, listening to music. I mean, golly, music is the soundtrack to our life, man. I mean, that's like,
even if it's doing nothing at home, it's a way of relaxing. It's a way of taking care of yourself, not burning out due to work.
it's good for your soul.
Yes.
That's why
it's nice.
Most religions have some type of music aspect.
This band, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, they have this Flying Microtonal Banana, and if you order the vinyl, like on the top left, you can like scratch it and it smells like banana if you smell it. It's fun.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
You familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
It's so awesome.
It's fantastic.
Why don't you put that in YouTube right now when we're talking about it? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I have a Facebook page that I follow, and it's like, it's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and it just talks about everything Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So there's a meme that says, you can't hear a picture.
Yeah.
And it has Bill and Ted going, you know, they do that deal.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's like myth busted or something like that. And so,
yeah, it's sweet. Have you heard of the? Oh, no way! They already released like the first look to Bill and Ted.
Dude, play that. I'm glad they're doing that. It's probably gonna suck, but
yeah, Bill and Ted are looking a little bit older, but hey,
man.
They might hold up again. They're bringing in Kid Cudi, one of the coolest artists of our decade. He's pretty nice.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one of the things about getting old is one, the music is so widespread, and then the younger kids have their music, and you're like, man, you totally forget, like that was me one time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
my
weird.
parents were like, who? What?
Definitely. For me, that doesn't really happen because I have really old guy tastes. Like 60s music, 70s music, 80s.
Nice. Well done, man.
All that stuff.
Diversity, bro.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty diverse. I try to be, and then I'm not. But jam bands, rap music, country, twangy country.
Yeah. With all the slide guitars, all that.
Yeah, I'm all about it. If it's well produced,
yeah,
I'm in.
Definitely.
Like it's funny that, like Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, I wasn't a Kanye fan. I don't know if it was, being against him in general. But guess what? He produces a gospel album, and I've listened to that gospel album 100 times now. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I turn it on right now, I jam to it. I love it. So it's interesting. I didn't like Kanye before. I don't think I liked him anyway.
Yeah, Kanye's not I would say,
but he's good at producing.
A good role model, but yeah, he's really good at making music. He's got some of the best albums on the
and I hope that his conversion, if you will, to Christianity does make him a better role model. At least during the sale of his album, he was definitely saying the right things. Yeah, in my opinion.
It's weird to see someone who used to claim to be God, basically.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about being
says-
God and many egotistical things in
Yeah,
there.
he says that in the album. He said, I ain't trying to
And
sell
now
you.
he's praising to someone else. Like, what?
Yeah.
What happened to Kanye, man?
He says that, like, I'm not trying to lead you to Jesus.
Yeah.
He said, because then he rhymes it with Jesus. But,
Yeah.
hey, maybe we can do a review.
Yeah.
Maybe review.
We can definitely check that out and
That'll be good.
do a review.
Get some of
it.
your boys up if you can.
Yes.
Either way.
Actually, I did ask them to do to come and do an episode with me.
Oh
on
yeah,
the studio.
especially now that you have a reason to get together.
Yeah.
I'm only charging you $200 for the session.
Right, of course. But the thing is,
Transportation.
yeah, like one of my friends, we offered him transportation. We offered him free time here. We offered a ride back. We offered a lot of things, and we did it several times in several weeks, and none of those times could he go.
Man.
He's saying it's because of his parents, because he was kind of failing recently on school. But I don't know.
Are
it's strange.
you trying to keep it together in that aspect? Like, are you trying to keep, like, you won't do it with 3?
I'm trying to, because we've had one of the guys kind of, just not be there because of school reasons or work reasons on several episodes, and so when that happens, we end up kind of missing him and like talking about him on the episode. When we get a guest usually to replace the person that's missing, but when we do that, it just doesn't feel right for us, honestly.
Yeah.
So I want to do it when we're all 4 together.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, but things change.
Of course.
I mean, we all just changed drastically in this past weekend, right?
Definitely.
I mean, everything just changed, especially, and I'm serious, dramatically, right?
Yes, a lot.
And so this is an easy dramatic one, but some things times, dude, friends, places. I'll tell you quick. I'm not gonna say give up, but I'd almost moved on from Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
Have I told you this story?
I don't think so.
I think I've told it on the. Anyway, quick. I bought a home to remodel. Okay, I go while I'm remodeling it. I have an apartment in Fort Worth. Okay, I'm living in Fort Worth like I'm on this small apartment complex right next to this downtown like cool area, and like this is my new life now. I've got literally walk across the hall from my door, super cool neighbors who like I adore them. They've got a little kid, the husband, and both of them. They'll go down, walk 2 blocks to this bar, have a couple drinks. We're not party animals. And it's just a cool place.
Yeah,
that was life. Tony Shotwell was the councilman here in Grand Prairie, and here where we're at now. After 23 years on council, he retires. So I went from leaving Grand Prairie. That was a change.
Yes.
About a year and a half, getting accustomed to this new life in Fort Worth. And that was going to be it. Like, wow, this is something new and different to me. And then I drastically moved back. Anyway, so time. If I can. Embrace the change. Fight for it. Don't give up on it.
Yeah.
But take in all those things that you learned. And I guess they're the things I'm talking about, things you want, desire, right? Because when those change, you're like, oh, it changed. We're trying to get that back. Yes. Fight for it. Try to get it back. But also realize life goes on, and those changes, I'm a spiritual guy, so I think God bring those things into your life for the next. You've gotten what you needed from that aspect, not that you're better or took something from them or that, but you've learned and gotten better because of that. So
right. The Twilight Zone.
Hey, that's like a God thing, right? Like that's like a ghost spiritual thing, like right? Like again, I'm a pretty strong Christian guy, but like that's my whole deal with Christianity is like it's just this mythological thing in the sky. Dude, I was talking with Jesus last night. What? Really? You talked with an imaginary man? No, man, Jesus is real. What? He's real. Where's he at? You know, like again, I'm not trying to be blasphemous, but I'll go down that road. Like, you know, that this is if you don't, you know, I think you're being blind to the whole idea anyway. So
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you get a lot on cults. A lot of the time where you try to question something and you end up, you know, being chastised for it.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, how dare you question the words of the... They're like, what? Oh, come on, man.
I don't think you were alive, but there was one cult in like the 90s where everybody drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh.
It was literally like, it was like 100+ people.
Really?
And they all like laid down like bunk beds.
Is it like Heaven's Gate? I think it was called Heaven's Gate, where they were like all dressed in Adidas and they were
maybe
all
that was
down.
it. Yeah.
Because I think I remember seeing one of the shoes of the guys.
Dude, type that
on the
in,
internet.
man.
I do remember seeing something about Heaven's Gate, and they were like all, like the cult leader was like, yeah, let's just drink this thing and let's all die, and like at this time, at this hour, at this date.
Can you imagine like
being
the guy?
A gate for heaven will open at this time, and you have to like die for it, and it's crazy shit.
And David Koresh, that was more memorable to me. Have you heard of that? There was a movie about that recently.
I'm not sure if...
So David Koresh, and this is more of the Christian.
Right.
Well, they had a compound in Waco, and like they got to a point where they would not come out. He was very vivacious, loved, great, like kind of preacher type.
Yeah.
And he had this cult of hundreds of people in Waco, and the federal government had to come in and they wouldn't come out, so they set it on fire.
Jesus, all right.
I want to say they killed.
Really?
Yeah, the federal government killed these Koreshians, is what they call them.
That's insane.
There's Heaven's Gates, American UFO Religious
Millenarian cult based near San Diego, California. It was founded in 1974 by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles.
So is that the 97? It ceased operations March 26th?
Ceased operations. That's what they want to call it.
We're almost 23 years from it.
Yeah, basically.
Ceased operations. They all killed themselves.
Yeah, that's what happened. What do you mean ceased operations?
I mean, that's the politically correct way, I guess. Like,
I think so.
Oh, there's the purple blanket. Yeah.
But yeah, I think they all drank some like weird poison, and they passed it around.
Nike's, not Adidas.
Nike's, yeah.
You're gonna get sued for throwing Adidas under the...
Yeah, sorry. My bad, Adidas.
Phil Knight, it's all your fault.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they were all wearing all black with Nike shoes, like some sort of weird uniform. Like,
oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, not just like one or two people did it. Like,
no, it was a whole house.
It was like a mansion.
It was like a house full of people.
In the hallways, the bedrooms.
Yeah.
That's like a living area right there.
They're calling it a mass suicide. So how many people were they in there? Man. It's insane. It looks terrifying. Imagine just stopping by a house and seeing a lot of bunk beds with people lying on them and not moving.
You know what sucks is like for someone to have that talent,
yeah,
and that much leadership, it's just so sad.
Yeah, it's wasted. I think I heard someone knocking. That really creeped me out.
Actually, I think we got to call this, man. I'm getting close to business time too.
Right, me too. I think I need to get to editing some stuff.
Nice.
All right. Well.
Okay, buddy.
Thank you for coming, Cole. I'll see you next time.
All right.
Take care.
See you, bud.